Okay, so for this video, I'm actually going to combine the two models. I'm actually going to bring in a balance to represent one side of equation being equal to the other side. Whereas typically with algebra tiles, which is what we're going to be using, you would just have a line that represents one side and the other side. Okay, but I'm going to combine them for right now. All right. So on this one side, I have negative 3c, which I'm going to represent with negative 3x. Okay. Then we have a plus 7. I'm going to put that in there. On the other side of the balance or the equation, I have 2x or 2c and negative 8. Okay, and we are told that those two things are equal. Okay, so now if I want to get x by itself, I need one side. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and take positive 3 tiles, okay, in order to, I'm going to duplicate that because what I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So I'm going to ultimately add x to both sides, add 3x to both sides. Okay, and I'm going to do those at the same time, and we're going to see what happens. So when I do that here, if you notice, it ends up zeroing out. Okay, I end up with 0. One cancels the other. So I can see on this side, I have 5x or 5c. Okay. So I now have all my variables on one side of the balance. Now I need to move numbers. So I want to have variables or x's on one side and numbers on the other side. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take, if I add the opposite, so I have 8 negative ones, so I'm going to add 8 positive ones to one side. And I'm going to duplicate that and add them to the other side as well. And I'm going to move them over here just so I can see the difference. So when I do that, oops, I don't want to get that line in there. Okay, let's just move this down a little bit so that I don't end up highlighting that line as well. Okay, so I'm going to take these guys, and when I move them up, if you notice what happens, that zeroes out, those numbers zero out. Okay, and I end up with 15, 7, and an 8, so 15 ones on this side. Okay, so my last step is now I need to go ahead and divide. So I have 5 x's, so I'm going to split those up into groups of 1. Okay, so into 5 groups. So I have 5 groups of 1 essentially on this side. And then I need to do the same here. I need to split these into 5 groups. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now every x, so I split them into 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups. So that every x, 1x, corresponds to 1, 3. Okay, so that tells me then that every c is equal to a group of 3. So ultimately, I have now solved the equation, and I have found it to be x or c equals 3. Okay. Now you could also, if you wanted, just then delete these x's, okay, and delete these so that you end up with, whoops, these guys got to be gone too. Delete that. So then we can see that x is equal to 3. All right. Hope that helps. Bye for now.